Welcome to RPTV Weekly News. I'm Jabin, joined by Gabriel, Marcelo, Thundercloud, and Fred, ready to bring you the latest updates from Regent Park and its surroundings.
In this episode, we'll cover important events and community updates from October 7th to October 14th. Stay with us for the news that matters to our community.
Upcoming Regent Park Community Consultation meeting on Phases 4 and 5. Community leaders gather in Regent Park to address homelessness at 2024 Toronto Shelter Network Conference. Moss Park Town Hall. Community concerns take center stage. City Council approves 214-230 Sherbourne development amid strong community opposition. City of Toronto moves forward with Universal Student Food Program to address hunger in schools. Fire Station 325 Open House celebrates Fire Prevention Week and 150 years of service. Events and jobs in Regent Park community.
Upcoming Regent Park Community Consultation meeting on Phases 4 and 5. A community consultation meeting for Regent Park Phases 4 and 5 will take place on Wednesday, October 30th, 2024, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., hosted by Senior City Planner Catherine Bailey. The meeting will cover City Council's proposed amendments to Zoning Bylaw 1325-2023 to address conflicts with city infrastructure and expand housing options in the area. This is an important opportunity for residents to engage in shaping the future of Regent Park.
The City of Toronto will be holding a consultation meeting online on WebEx, and I want to encourage all of you to register for this consultation meeting related to the redevelopment of Phases 4 and 5 of Regent Park. The meeting will be happening on October 30th, I believe Wednesday, October 30th, if I'm not mistaken. It's a great opportunity to speak in favor of social housing, in favor of rent-geared to income housing. They're proposing only to maintain the 633 rent-geared to income units, but add 2,804 market units. That is going to gentrify our community. As you're aware, your neighborhood association is asking for a 50-50 mix. 50% of the residents of Regent Park should be living in rent-geared to income or social housing, or that's affordable housing as per the city's bylaw known as OPA 558, and 50% should be market. If this proposal is approved by City Council, we're going to exacerbate the housing crisis. We're going to make it worse. In fact, we will have less affordable housing in our city and a lot of market units in Regent Park. Let's not forget, Regent Park was built as one of Canada's largest social housing communities. So if there's one place we should be building social housing, it should be in Regent Park. So get involved, show up to the consultation on October 30th, and I hope to see you there.
Community leaders gather to address homelessness at 2024 Toronto Shelter Network Conference. On October 10, the Toronto Shelter Network Conference 2024 took place in the heart of Regent Park at 585 Dundas Street East, Daniel Spectrum, with the theme Innovative Partnerships and Projects, a collaborative approach to addressing homelessness. The event brought together shelter providers, community partners, and leaders to address the city's ongoing shelter and housing crisis. The conference provided a platform for organizations and individuals to share new strategies and collaborative solutions to combat homelessness. Workshops and panel discussions focused on the importance of innovation and connecting diverse resources to create sustainable change. This event holds significant importance for Regent Park and its surrounding neighborhoods, where the challenges of housing affordability, homelessness, and shelter shortage are deeply felt. To delve deeper into the ideas discussed at the event, our community reporter, Fred Alvarado, spoke with David Raycraft, Senior Director of Programs and Services at AVA's Initiatives for Homeless Youth. Let's hear what David has to say.
My name is David Raycraft, and I am the Senior Director of Programs and Services with EVA's Initiatives, which is a shelter program for young youth. I am also the president of the Toronto Shelter Network, and today's event is an annual conference that focuses on the work that frontline staff do in supporting the growing numbers of homeless people in the city of Toronto. So we support a number of shelters across the city and making sure that their voices are heard and that we bring them together. And this event has been so vital, and it is over the last few years, because it brings a number of people together and a number of agencies together who do this work, and we have an opportunity to speak about the common realities of this. And I think it's particularly salient this year because we're talking about partnerships and how those partnerships help us get this work done. It's very complex, challenging work, and we really need to come together as a community to do this work. I think it's critical. It's work that we do 365 days of the year, and this event is critical. And you speak about being in Toronto's downtown east. There was a conference workshop this morning looking at the collaborations that are happening in the downtown east and how they come together around supporting the visible homelessness in the city of Toronto, and particularly in the downtown east. And traditionally, this neighborhood has been one of the poorest neighborhoods in Toronto. So it's essential. I mean, we're talking and supporting people who are without housing, but we also know that poverty extends to people who are struggling and living paycheck to paycheck to maintain their housing. So there's just not enough housing, and our housing ecosystem is faltering. And we need to be thinking about any number of people and communities as they struggle to maintain their housing. Shelters were intended to be temporary responses to the homelessness problem, and you're also right when you ask the question as to what the solutions are. Well, the solutions are the built form. We need housing, we need access to housing, but we also need to build community and safety into any sort of housing project that comes about. It's really true what your friend was saying, that in a country that is this wealthy, poverty is there's a problem with the distribution of wealth is what it comes down to, and I think we haven't thought about the ecosystem that is our housing ecosystem for a very long time. So housing, homelessness. I mean, we see the revitalization of Regent Park. It's interesting to see what the follow-up studies are to see whether everyone has benefited from this, and those are pieces of work that are being done. But eventually, the desire is, we have as a city adapted housing as a human right. So it's one thing to talk about that, and progressively we will realize that, I hope, and people will understand that housing and lack of housing is a health issue. It extends beyond simply the reality of people not having homes. It's a health issue.
Moss Park Town Hall, Community Concerns take center stage. On October 8th, Regent Park TV attended the Moss Park Town Hall hosted by Councillor Chris Moyes at Central Neighborhood House, 349 Ontario Street. A key topic was the proposed development at 214-230 Sherbourne. Community members voiced strong concerns about its potential impact on affordable housing in the area, stressing the need for transparency and accountability. They highlighted how this project could exacerbate the ongoing housing affordability crisis and homelessness in their community, calling for solutions that prioritize their needs over profit.
I'm wondering what the city's solution is towards building more affordable housing to get people housed. You can specify that type of housing in the plan. And then the second part of my question, which is related to the site at 214-230 Sherbourne, is that NB 2019 report that was mentioned. It said that the city staff recommended the acquisition or expropriation of the site to build deeply affordable social housing to help the people in the community, to get them housed, to get them off the street, and to help them finally get the help that they need. In all of this talks that we have heard, we haven't really been hearing about the possibility of expropriation. So what is the city's stance on that, especially since when it comes to the Kingston Capital, and I know this because I'm facing this with my building, their plan is to purchase a piece of land, to rezone it, to increase the value of the land, and then resell it at a profit, and in no way actually participating in building housing. So I understand that it is city staff recommendation to move forward with the rezoning before potentially acquiring, but I don't understand why staff would recommend to increase the value of the land before city would buy it. It just kind of sounds like the city's going to give more money to develop it. So I know I said a lot of points, and I would really appreciate some clarification.
You have to remember that Kingston bought the property many moons ago, and I think it was last year before, with the Ontario line coming into place, that most of our ward is a transit-oriented community, which means that density is allowed around the Ontario line. For example, there's going to be a stop at Sherbourne and Queen. So based on the province's law, their density is allowed. And that's why Kingston is coming back and saying they want the density, because the province has said to them, that's what is expected. So based on the value, the current value of the land, the cost has gone up. So it's not just to expropriate the land and say, we're going to take it from you. It's not that simple. The city would have to give the developer the cost of the land at its current value. So it's important to note the difference. And in regards to building affordable housing, we have the housing secretariat. Is it here for housing? No. We have the housing secretariat who is going out and working with our partners to build more affordable housing throughout the city. I know for the mayor that's a priority for her, and we've been working diligently to create tens of thousands of more housing, affordable housing units. Again, RGI, I know people always ask about RGI, I'm surprised they always ask about RGI right now, but RGI is the province, the feds who actually subsidize rent here to income. The city cannot afford that. If you had to calculate it, it's $8,000 a year per household when it comes to RGI. We'd rather put that money in housing rather than put it in individuals' pockets to bring down the rent. I also mentioned that in some instances, because of the 4% CBC new benefits, I've been working with developers as to how that money should be spent. And just recently, for example, for the last year and a half, I've been working with Fitzrovia at 260 King Street East to actually get more value from the city. So we just actually negotiated 60 affordable units for a 99-year term. It took us a year and a half to negotiate this for the city. And so that's one of the things that I continue to do when it comes to providing more affordable housing across the city. I also think it's important to have, and again, I'm not a big fan of condos, but I actually think there should be more rentals as well. I meet with the TNU president as recently as this morning, and then with the president of Joint College and other community leaders. And they say to me, listen, we cannot get our nurses and our professors and our staff to come and work in our facility because there's no housing down here in Toronto Centre. So they go elsewhere. And they don't want to buy a condo. They rather just rent. And this is why I support more affordable, more rental units in our area. So again, I need to take a holistic approach when I talk about these things and deal with these things. I know some people are very tunnel vision, but for me, I try to see the bigger picture.
City Council approves 214-230 Sherbourne development amid strong community opposition. In a closely watched decision, Toronto City Council approved the controversial condo development at 214-230 Sherbourne on October 9th. Despite strong opposition from Moss Park residents and housing advocates, the Council's swift approval highlighted the ongoing debate over development and affordable housing in Toronto's downtown east.
Yeah, so 214-230 Sherbourne, it's here without a recommendation. So what are you recommending?
Well, staff's rec.
You're moving staff recommendation?
Yes.
Okay, on staff recommendation, on favor, show of hands, opposed if any, carried.
During the meeting, it took less than 60 seconds for Councillor Chris Moyes, Mayor Olivia Chow, and the rest of the Council to endorse staff recommendations, allowing KingSett Capital to move forward with their plans to build a luxury condo in one of the city's most economically vulnerable neighborhoods. Despite previous efforts by the city to negotiate a purchase or expropriate the properties, those attempts fell through, and KingSett's application for the condo tower was ultimately accepted. The City Council's decision effectively ended any possibility of developing affordable or social housing on the site, raising concerns about the future affordability of the Dundas Street East corridor, which has seen a surge in condo developments.
When the vote came up at City Council, not one progressive councillor spoke to it. Not one single councillor. There was no discussion. It was just like I said, less than 60 seconds. And we find that really strange, including Mayor Chow, Olivia Chow, who's refused to publicly come out and oppose KingSett's project. And including people like Gordon Perks and Josh Matlow, and they all know this is going on. We send them stuff, and none of them spoke to the issue. So for us right now, the message we want to send to KingSett and to the possibility of another developer buying that land is to let them know that, by entering that territory, they're in for a fight. They're entering at Dundas and Sherbourne. They're going to be entering a minefield, and it's our intention to fight as hard as we can to stop this condo from being built at Dundas and Sherbourne. It will cause harm to our community. We are desperate for social housing, and so we have all intention to continue the fight. And unfortunately for us, we're not just having to fight, KingSett Capital and the developers. We're also having to fight the progressive councillors to speak out about this. So we can't find a single councillor who's willing to take on, what's happening in the city, the transformation of low-income neighborhoods with these developers. And anybody who's walked down the Dundas corridor from Church to Sherbourne will see. I think there's 11 condo developments, in the works. Some are completed. By the time they've completed that, the developers will invest anywhere between $4 to $5 billion just along that stretch, and the corridor will be dotted with 6,300 condos, is what they're doing there, and no social housing. I think it's 24 units that will happen in that corridor. So yeah, we're angry, and we're really angry. We're angry at at Moise. We're angry at our councillors, because they're not representing our interests. And it's clear, from this process, what we've been working since over almost a year, 2 years now, or 10 years, sorry. It's clear that developers run the city. That's clear. I mean, and I wish that councillors would be honest about that and say, yeah, we don't run the show. It's the developers who dictate what happens.
City Council moves forward with Universal Student Food Program to address hunger in Toronto schools. On October 9, 2024, Toronto City Council adopted the Building a Universal Student Food Program initiative, a significant step forward ensuring that every student in the city has access to nutritious meals. We'll hear from Meteor Olivia Chow as she discusses the importance of the Universal Student Food Program.
I am extremely proud to put the motion in front of you, and I hope we can support it. It really is asking for the staff to map out a universal plan. I know Councillor Moyes through the Board of Health have been working on it. I know any number of you, Councillor Canifo, through the school boards and city committee, and because you former school trustee are familiar with the program, many of you are very familiar with the program. You do also know that recently the national government said that they are ready. After many decades of us saying that please do something, they are now ready. They have announced that it would be a national program, and they have put aside, let me look, a total of, for this year, 79 million, and then 201 million every year then, and that is a billion over 5-year national food program. And what we're asking is for them to flow the money through the province a lot faster. And I believe the agreement has been signed so that there should be funds coming through so that we can proceed with feeding kids. We're looking at 8,000 kids in January in the depth of winter.
Fire Station 325 Open House celebrates Fire Prevention Week and 150 years of service. Recently, Toronto Fire Station 325, located at 475 Dundas Street East in Regent Park, opened its doors to the community for a special event during Fire Prevention Week. This year marks the 150th anniversary of dedicated fire protection services in Toronto, and the theme for Fire Prevention Week, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, highlights the critical importance of having a working smoke alarm in every home. The open house offered an engaging environment for families featuring fire trucks, games, prizes, and educational activities. Residents were encouraged to learn about fire safety and the essential role smoke alarms play at the first line of defense in the event of a fire. Toronto Fire Services aims to raise awareness about fire safety through various educational initiatives during Fire Prevention Week. This event not only celebrated a significant milestone in fire service history, but also fostered community connections and safety education.
Events and jobs in Regent Park community. The City of Toronto is offering up to $100,000 for community projects through the Regent Park Social Development Plan grant. Grassroots groups and nonprofits can apply from September 6th for initiatives focused on safety, communication, employment, and community building. Applications are due by October 29th. For details, contact Olanike Solomon at olanike.solomon@toronto.ca. October Fun Fest. Join the festival on Saturday, October 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Big Park. There will be pumpkin carving, music, apple crisps, cookie decorating, treat bags, dancing, and more. Hope to see you there. Join the Toronto Centre Youth Network hosted by Councillor Chris Moyes. Do you want to get involved in local politics and meet other young, civically engaged people? You're invited to join the new Youth Network, open to anyone between the ages of 14 to 24 who live or attend school in Ward 13. For more information, visit Chris Moyes' website. After-school homework clubs starting September 12th to May 2025, every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the 50 Regent Park Boulevard ground floor. ages 7 to 18 years are welcome. Your university tutors to register, email Felicia White at felicia.whyte@torontohousing.ca. Free Activating Community Leadership course starts October 8th. The Centre of Learning and Development invites Regent Park, Moss Park, and St. Jamestown residents to a free Activating Community Leadership course starting October 8th, held every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at CL&D 540 Dundas Street East. The course features weekly guests, speakers from urban studies at U of T. Tridel is offering opportunities for Regent Park residents. For more information, visit tridelcommunityworks.com. That's WORX.com. Apply now. And that was all for events and jobs in the community. Hope to see you there.
And that's all for today's show. I'm Marcelo, and I've been joined by my co-hosts Thunder, Fred, Gabriel, and Jabin. A big thank you to our dedicated team of researchers who contributed to this week's episode. From Focus Media Arts Center, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please follow our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.